Cosplay Stitch and Theme. Woo!
Woo! New episode!
New episode.
Always a new episode, of course.
Yeah. We are actually here together this week. Hooray!
Hooray! Not sadly sitting on my room full of boxes, recording into my phone and feeling lonely.
Yeah, or getting side-eye from your family because you're talking to yourself for a while. Now I'm at least seeming like I'm on the other end of a conversation.
Yes.
Hooray!
Also that pun at the end.
Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh. Here's my reaction to it. What? Freaking loved it.
I appreciate that. So this week we wanted to give you guys a rundown of the time we had at Anime Los Angeles. I know we've talked about doing a convention rundown for several episodes, but we're finally sitting down and making it happen. It's one of our resolutions for this year, so we're going to try to be better about reviewing not like reviewing conventions, but giving you guys a rundown of like cool things, points of interest, and fun times we had there. And also people we ran into, because we got some horror stories from you guys live at the con. But before we get into that, just a few like housekeeping things. Mercedes is making faces at me through the Skype. Okay. So before we get into that, just a few housekeeping things. As always, you can email us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com.
Or you can go to the website and fill out the form at cosplaystitchandseam.com, and you can send us your happy stories or your horror stories or inspiration, all that stuff, and topic suggestions are always welcome.
And then there's also our Facebook group. We do have like a Facebook page, like a fan page now that we use for like posting and things like that. So if you like that, it won't be the same thing. Make sure you're following like the group so you can get in on like the conversations with others and sharing your progress. Speaking of people like sharing and giving us ideas and topic suggestions and things like that, we have received an amazing amount of them, both through email and through our Facebook. And Mercedes and I are still organizing a schedule for the year, but please don't be alarmed if you don't see your idea right away. We did love so many of them, and we want to visit those topics throughout the year. But that may take a little while, so we appreciate your patience as we go through those.
If you emailed a topic suggestion, I will be replying to that email when we have recorded the episode, so that way you know which episode it will be on.
Yay! Other housekeeping, we do have a Ko-fi account. If you would like to support us, it does cost us about $15-20 a month in bandwidth fees and things like that. So if you want to toss us a Ko-fi, we appreciate it. Our Ko-fi is Ko-fi, 4 Cosplay Seams, so Ko-fi 4 Cosplay Seams. And then also wanted to talk about upcoming conventions. I know you have a few local events that you wanted to visit, Mercedes, and I have a couple that I'm trying out here in the Pacific Northwest. So, Do you want to talk about yours?
I will be definitely going to the Japanese festival. I am looking into PopCon as well here in Utah. And
what's the name of the Japanese festival?
Yes,
in case people
that's
aren't
right.
local.
Yes, I'm gonna butcher it. Nihon Matsuri?
Uh-huh.
Did I say that right? Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
yes,
Nihon Matsuri.
Nihon Matsuri. I love that one. It's just really fun.
Really cool, like cultural event too. Like
yes.
They have cosplay as an event that you can take part in, but it also visits a lot of cultural, like Japanese history, specifically the history in Utah. And has all kinds of booths, and you can have food, and you can like see some beautiful artwork, and they usually have like taiko drummers, and it's so much fun.
Incredibly good food. Good food.
Yeah, and you also said you'll be at PopCon?
Yes, I'm hoping so. I've got to double check on my schedule for that, so like don't quote me on it just yet. But
okay.
That is one that is I am very interested in joining in on.
Yeah, I've definitely had my eye on that one as well. I want to try it out. Let's see. For me, I'm going to hit up some new ones in the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to be at Emerald City Comic Con.
I am jealous.
Yeah. Well, I'll be doing actually some booth work for a friend of mine, Stacy. She's done some like book cover artwork and stuff like that. If you've seen the book series Unfettered, she did the cover art for that.
I'm getting that book and making her sign it.
Yeah, yeah. So if you want to find me, I'll probably either be at her booth or wandering the convention. So I have to give her a shout out for her awesomeness.
Shameless shout out for her. Like, her art is amazing. Yes. I have it at my desk at work, really and I have a custom one that she did.
Nice. Yeah, if you like Mass Effect, if you like, she recently did one for like all the different dragons in WoW or League. I can't remember which it was, but it was really gorgeous. But yeah. Then I'll also be at, this is like 99% sure I will be at SoccerCon, which is like 2 weeks later in the same venue. So that's going to be a little bit crazy and hectic. SoccerCon is a more anime convention. I'm really excited. Their convention Masquerade is under a new director this year, so I really want to see how things go and maybe get some interviews on what goes into that. And then, let's see, I'll also be at Anime Expo and Anime Bonsai, I think we'll both be at.
Yep.
So just in case you guys are going to any of those, come say hi.
Yes, come say hi.
Sorry, that got a little long-winded.
Oh, we're good.
Toot. Okay, sorry. Sorry, technical difficulties. I am screwing things up. Bless you, David.
This is why I'm on. But yeah, this is why I'm with David, because then I don't touch anything and I don't mess anything up.
Oh, thank goodness for like redundancies. Hooray. But yeah, anyway, if you're going to be at any of those conventions, we would love to see you guys. It has been awesome. The last couple cons we've been to, people have come up and wanted to give us horror stories, and we love talking to you guys. So yeah, if you'd like to visit, or like us to visit a convention near you that wasn't on our list here, please, like, let us know, or better yet, let your local convention folks know. They usually have a, like, form you can fill out if you have, like, guests you want to suggest or anything like that, and we would love to learn more about the cosplay community near you.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Alright, Anime Los Angeles.
Anime Los Angeles. I feel like with this convention, we kind of have two very different perspectives. I was working, like, as a staff for the Masquerade this year, and Mercedes was one of the cosplay contest judges.
Yep, I saw Pannon very little.
Yeah!
Except for when I saw her a lot.
Basically.
Yep.
So, did you want to start, Mercedes, and kind of give your rundown, and I'll jump in, and then I can give my side of it, and you can jump in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Where do I want to even start, though? So Anime Los Angeles is a big convention, a very long one, too, because they start on, like, Thursday is day one.
Yeah, they just barely started doing a day 4 thing.
Yeah.
So...
And so, like, it's a lot of convention. So I actually arrived on day 1 on Thursday, and we managed to get into our hotel, which was super nice. A little bit early, and I helped host a panel. I'm trying to remember the name of it again. The Cosplay Roundtable.
The Cosplay Roundtable.
Yes, and
how was that?
It was really good. Like, the crowd was like your normal, like, panel size crowd, which was really nice. Yeah, so I was part of the Cosplay Roundtable, and Brianna was the one who's running it, and she's a sweetheart. She's UTAHIME cosplay.
Utahime.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
She's amazing.
She is amazing. And the panel, like, had so many really amazing cosplayers on it. So, like, she was on it. There was Angie Viper, Alex Drastel, Space Pizza cosplay. She's adorable.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. Prince Kamui, Elizabeth Rage, and Suzu, the
nice.
guest Japanese cosplay?
She was our Japanese cosplay guest, yes.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, all of them were on that, and I was like, boy, I'm small game compared to these guys. No, it was a ton of fun. Like, we just kind of like went over like our stories, like how we got to where we are in cosplay, and it was really fun, just like all the back and forth, and just like how everybody started so differently.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then like audience questions were really fun too.
Good.
Yeah, so that was my first day in. I think after that,
No,
I
actually really love that they had like a panel for all the cosplay, like specifically the cosplay guests, because I feel like at a lot of conventions, like they all get lumped together with guests of all the different types, and sometimes it feels like, you know, people are there for this guest or that guest, and it can be hard to like really talk about what you want. So yeah. I think that's awesome that you got like a specialized panel to specifically like talk about cosplay and how you guys got started.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So like, Brianna's awesome. I'm glad that she like put that together and made it
nice. Nice. That is really cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Day 2. Day 2, I took out my Zora armor from last year.
I think I ran into you for all of like 10 minutes.
Yep. Saw you for a second, took a selfie, called it good.
I
went and did a photo shoot with Carolyn, because she's got an amazing Zelda from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That's a Silver Deeds cosplay, right?
Yes.
Any other major day 2s?
I was like, I don't think I did like super much that day. I went into Artist Alley when I shouldn't have. ALA has like an amazing Artist Alley, by the way. I gotta throw that out there.
Oh my gosh.
They do some incredible stuff. Were you were able to hit that up, right?
Yeah, I did, actually. I also spent more than I should have in the Artist Alley.
They had some Shadow of the Colossus art that I was like, and I bought this.
I may have been binging. Well, if you know me, you know I have been really on the Final Fantasy 15 hype train lately, and there was so much good 15 merchandise. My wallet was crying.
Aww.
Yes, good.
Yes. Let's see.
Did you guys do any of the ribbon games?
Yes, actually. I collected about my height's worth of ribbons. I'm not very
nice.
I'm not very good at the ribbon game. Sadie, on the other hand, always collects like at least
she's a crazy good collector.
Yeah, she's all over the place. I am sad to say I only got one Pokemon ribbon this year.
Oh dang! Your starter.
Yep, it was my starter. It took me forever to freaking find a gym leader because, like, I don't know, it was just crowded.
Yeah.
And like the Pokemon ribbon game, for those who don't know, so there's the general ribbon game where everybody brings ribbons and they trade them, or you can earn them by doing like a challenge, like singing the opening to the Pokemon theme song, or like other things and whatnot. The convention itself runs a Pokemon one, and you have to find a gym leader and get your starter Pokemon.
Well, it's not the convention that runs that one. It's a fan run. No, it's a totally fan run competition.
Well, they do it really professionally, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah. They do an amazing job. I know the founders of it are on staff, but yeah, it's totally run as out of their own pockets. Everybody puts in, etc.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that. That's okay. That's awesome. Kudos to them. Yeah, so I think like Friday, around the end of the day, I finally found myself a gym leader, got my starter Pokemon, and then I was like, I need to go get some sleep, because like I had a judge on Saturday, and I didn't want to like be tired for that. So,
I mean, I was actually super impressed you guys all showed up for the early morning meeting for all the cosplayers.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself. I woke up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no. And like all day Saturday, because I was judging all day, I didn't really see any of the convention during that. I mean, I got great seats for the cosplay contest.
Somehow.
Yeah.
For some reason.
For some reason, you know. But like, I super enjoyed it. Like, it was a lot of fun. But by the time that I was able to, like, start looking for Pokemon ribbons again, it was Sunday, which is the last day of the convention. And that's when they're, like, running out of the Pokemon ribbons anyways. And apparently I was given the worst starter.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I had a fairy type.
Oh, I was fairy type.
Yep. So I was like, I couldn't even get a ribbon from you because you're fairy type already.
Yep.
Yeah, so I got one Pokemon ribbon, but I got a lot of others. I got a lot of ones that I was really, like, looking for, so that was good.
Well,
finally got my Denny's ribbon.
Oh, good. Denny's ribbon is important.
Yes, I missed it last year. So David's looking at me like, what's the Denny's ribbon? So there's this guy who hands out a Denny's ribbon that's called the Real Denny's Hours, and it's 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. And that's the only time you can get that ribbon. Mm-hmm. So this guy is there every night between those hours handing out these ribbons, and I missed out on it. I didn't know about the first year.
Which is insanely dedicated, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, I missed out on it the first year that I went, and last year when I went, I was so zonked out. Like, at the end of the day, I was just like, I can't stay up any longer, I'm gonna pass out, so I missed out on the ribbon last year. I got it this year, though.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm most proud of that.
So tell us a little bit about your experience as a judge, though.
So
I want to hear, like, your behind the scenes.
As a judge, okay, one thing I gotta say, ALA brings out crazy amazing costumes. And just, like, I was just blown away by all the craftsmanship and the various types of costumes as well that came in. It was incredible, and, like, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. The convention treated us pretty nice. Like, we had a nice room all to ourselves, and, like, the contestants as they came in, they really did their best to make it as, like, comfortable as possible, so I loved it. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
I don't know.
I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yes, you are. I'm, like, trying to think of, like, what I want to say. And my thoughts are super, like, jumbled right now. I don't know. I really did enjoy it. Like, I like that we had our own room for judging versus, like, some places, like, put you in the middle of, like, crowds and stuff, and it's like, hard to focus.
That's really hard.
Having your own room just, like, lets you be able to focus on the cosplayer. It makes it more comfortable for the cosplayer.
For sure. Because it can be, like, way stressful even in a room, like, with other stuff going on in it. Like, even if you're in a fairly quiet room, if there's, like, people doing stuff in the background and you're trying to, like, focus your thoughts and talk to the judges, it's kind of like, And,
like, even as a judge, if, like, there's somebody else in there, it's, like, distracting because there's something going on and you're trying to focus on the cosplayer's costume.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's switch to you for a second, and then I can get my thoughts more organized. Sorry. I was up really late last night, by the way. Moving
It's like
stuff.
You've been moving a bunch.
Yeah. My whole body hurts.
Oh no!
And I gotta do more today.
Yup, you sure do.
Yeah, this is my break today.
So this was kind of like a first and not a first, but, like, it was a hard year. Those of you that go to ALA regularly may know that the previous masquerade had retired after last year, and so I got to kind of, like, not take over, I don't want to say it like that, but, like, I got to attempt to fill her shoes, and which was hugely intimidating, because Anime Los Angeles Cosplay Contest was very formative for me. It really got me loving competition. It was like the competition where I kind of, like, felt like this is kind of what competition should feel like, you know? They have like an amazing, friendly, open cosplay community, and one of the like things that really stood out to me was that when you're in the green room and you're like nervous and waiting to go on stage, or you've just gone on stage, or you're waiting for the announcements of who won, things like that, everyone there was so friendly and so encouraging, and they just want to talk about their craft or your craft or how you made something.
The camaraderie of the green room at ALA is incredible.
It is. And not only that, but like when the awards start coming out, the contestants themselves actually cheer one another on. Like, they get so wildly excited for their own competitors. And I just think that's such good sportsmanship, and it really inspired me, honestly, and made me want to compete more and to, like, try to infuse that spirit into other things. So, trying to pick up that thread and, do my best to run a competition that embodied that same spirit was really intimidating for me. But also, like, really exciting, because I've really wanted the opportunity to hopefully, like, inspire young cosplayers and people coming into competition for the first time to be like, hey, come and join, and hopefully you have the sort of experience that I had when I was young. Not that I'm not still kind of young, but, like, you know, hopefully you can come and have the same experience I had that made me love it so much. So yeah, I would say this competition really has a heart, and I was definitely not running it alone either. The previous masquerade head, she was doing so many things with her amazing crew that we had to, like, split her title, whatever duties in two, just so that we could all manage it, basically. So I handled more of the competition side of things, while the other department head handled most of the technical aspects, like the stage and stuff. So you may have gotten, if you were in the competition, you may have gotten emails from either one of us, depending on what your questions were. But yeah, I was over more of the competition and organizing the craftsmanship and finding judges and all that fun stuff. So, and then doing all the day of, making sure things ran smoothly, making sure everyone got their craftsmanship allotted times and things like that.
You were incredibly
busy. It was very busy, but I also had an amazing crew to work with. I had just friends popping out of the woodwork to help out, and I could not have done it without them. Let's see. But yeah, it was a really good experience. It was definitely stressful, and I really appreciated the feedback we got, and I hope that we can put it toward making it better and even more friendly and inviting next year. I definitely have things I want to, like, work on and improve, but somehow it happened, and the cosplayers were incredibly patient, and I wasn't in the backstage, but I heard it was a really fun and excited and heartwarming area, and that really made it for me when people said that, like, backstage was a lot of fun and that they made new friends and things like that. I was just like, oh, yeah. That makes me so happy.
There was so many, like, good comments about, like, people working together, cheering each other on to Anime Los Angeles has the den pies.
yeah. And the den pie are volunteers, and a lot of them are experienced cosplayers, so they know really well how to take care of cosplayers. And that was actually an idea that the original crew had. The denpai has kind of been a tradition at ALA, and we wanted to make sure we continued that. But yeah, they do a great job of taking care of cosplayers backstage, making sure that their costumes are doing, in functioning order, nothing's falling off, making sure the cosplayers themselves are hydrated, that they have snacks if they need them, that, if they just need moral support, they're basically there as convention mommies, sort of a thing backstage. So I think that's a really positive and amazing way to handle things. So I've always loved that.
I really like the denpais. I think that's something that like more conventions should do, because like it's just a great way of making sure all your contestants have somebody there that's like immediately can answer their questions, can make sure that they're hydrated and all that stuff. Like it's a really great way to manage your contestants and help keep them happy. Yeah.
Oh, and I should explain, the denpai is like, because backstage they have everyone organized into dens or groups of people, and then it's also a play on senpai, so it's denpai. I love a good pun, as you know.
It's so cute.
But yeah, it was really fun. I would probably do again. Yes. And hopefully be able to make some improvements in the future.
I was like, I hope you do again, because you guys did really well.
I appreciate that. It was a huge relief knowing that people had a good time. And that's honestly like all you can really ask for, is like all the stress and stuff, as long as the people involved feel like the competition was fair and that they had a good time and made some great memories. That's what the competition is for.
Yeah.
And anything more is I don't know. It's cherry on top if there's more than that, but yeah, it was good. I had fun. And then, of course, we had a lot of amazing judges this year. We had Mercedes lending her experience. We had Binksy, or Diana. She has done work with World Cosplay Summit. We had, and she was also, of course, World Cosplay Summit team. And same for Ash Amasuki. She does a lot of amazing Fate Stay Night stuff. Was also a Team USA alumni. We had Wayne Kaw, who basically runs ACP, or American Cosplay Paradise, where they always host those skit videos so that they're easy to find. I know
super appreciate that.
Yeah, like looking back and trying to find video of some of your skits can be so difficult, but I super appreciate that Wayne makes sure that we have a recording that's easy to find, that it's like an archive of memories, Mm-hmm. And then we had two guest judges, Utahime and Suzu, came in and gave industry awards, so it was really fun. I will say it was definitely hectic. What else can I say? I worked part of this year. Before I did masquerade stuff, I worked in publications. So if you went to ALA and saw like the program books and the t-shirts and the signs everywhere, I did have a hand in those. I usually worked with organizing and coordinating for the artists, making sure that we have artwork of everything and all that fun stuff. And then part of that also is setting up. So it does not magically become decorated and nice and have schedules everywhere. It is a lot of running around day zero. And since I was there, I also helped out with that this year, just to, because they needed a hand and I wanted to give a hand, so I did that too. But yeah, I did some of the ribbon games. Let's see. Like I said, I've been pretty gung-ho about Final Fantasy 15. And I was super excited because there was a Final Fantasy 15 ribbon game in the Artist Alley. And you could, like, the way some of the ribbon games work is it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. And this one, they had like a map of all the tables in the Artist Alley who were taking part. And if you visited all of them, then at the last one, you got like this walk tall ribbon, which was really pretty. And it was fun. I was worried that I would not have the trivia prowess to be able to get the ribbons, but somehow I magically did.
Oh, come on, Pannon.
I know. Well, it was hard. One of the ones, like, the ribbon for Ignis was a trivia one, and I was like, they were like, do you want easy, medium, or hard? And I was feeling, like, a little bit self-assured, so I was like, I can do a medium, and then I almost biffed it.
Oh.
So, but I did, like, one of them randomly had, like, Final Fantasy IX trivia, even though it was 15, and I was like, I know this one! So it was good. It was good.
Nice. That's funny, because, like, I saw a couple of, like, those Final Fantasy ribbons while I was going through Artist Alley, but I didn't realize it was part of the ribbon game, but that's because, you know, I'm incredibly observant when it comes to that kind of stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. It was really fun. I actually only found out about it because some of the artists taking part had, like, tweeted a map with all the locations ahead of time, so if you follow the artists, you already knew kind of about the game.
I need to be better about Twitter.
Yeah. The tweeting, the tweets, twooting.
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 Is...
Was that like...
So like pooting, but twooting.
No, it's not like that at all. I'm sure a Twitter like that exists, but... You can follow Mercedes on Twitter @twooting.
Oh,
she's live twooting.
Live twooting.
She's live twooting. Mercedes now.
Oh, okay.
Well, the thing with live twooting is no one has to smell it. And we devolve into fart jokes.
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah. I tried not to. Okay.
All right.
Back on topic. What were we saying?
But yeah, the ribbon game is fun. I did appreciate, like, how polite and nice most of the staff were. I was able to reach out to, like, other departments even when I needed help, and people were pretty awesome about that. Yeah, in general, like, I mean, I've worked there at that con for, I think, 7 or 8 years now, and it's always been a very positive experience. I mean, we've definitely had, like, highs and lows, but I think in general, I've always come away having a really good experience with that convention. And it was honestly really weird because I don't think since, like, oh gosh, in forever, I haven't not competed in their cosplay contest because I love it so much. I think the only other year I did not compete was when I judged for them. and that was right after I had, like, a really bad car accident, so I was kind of, like, wheelchairing my way around the con anyway. And would have been really hard to do a skit that way.
Just a little. I mean...
Yeah. They actually have great accommodations, though.
They really do.
They have a backstage, like, it's not a ramp, it's actually an elevator thing that brings things level with the stage. So you can have, like, wheelchair access, can have really, really large, clunky cosplays can easily get up and down on the stage.
Like the giant Tyranitar, and I remember the name now.
Yay! Yeah, but, like, other cons, like, take note. That was really cool, and I'm glad that they're thinking about accessibility, because that is huge.
It is huge. Like, you gotta think, like, everybody needs to be able to get on that stage if they want to get on it.
Exactly. And I'm definitely not saying, like, for any reason, like, cosplay is for everyone. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad more conventions are making things accessible. Where did I go with my tangents? But yeah, I always am taking part in that masquerade in some form or another, so I was really glad to be able to do that this year as well, even though it was really weird to not...
When I heard that you were helping to take over on it, I was like, that's appropriate. Like, she would take good care of that contest.
I hope so. And everyone was really, like I said, everyone's been really kind, even, like, just giving, like, advice or helping out, like, just with little things here and there. I had some friends, like, ran an awesome errand for me because I couldn't leave my post at the moment. So backstage they keep, like, blankets and things because it can get so cold. And I needed it was really cold.
Freezing.
Yeah. So Well, because they have to keep, like, the whole audience cool and things like that.
So many bodies in there. Yeah, it's gonna, like, they have to run it like that.
Exactly.
But no, I'm just joking. But I was cold, but, like, I'm not trying to be
hard.
like...
No, it can be hard backstage, because, you know, you never know what a cosplayer is going to be wearing, if they're going to have a ton of layers, or going to have very few layers, or very little coverage. And so they have a storage of blankets that the former conchair Chaz brings in, and it was hugely helpful in keeping people warm backstage. But I had a moment where I could not run and pick things up, and I had a couple of cosplay friends amazingly just take time out of their day to, like, run and go grab blankets and bring them back for us so that our cosplayers weren't frozen. And it was just, like, little things like that made me, like, not just appreciate the community, but, like, how awesome of friends I have that, like, helped this happen too. So
yeah.
Woo! Yeah. How was your Sunday? The day after the wind down?
Didn't get as much sleep as I wanted, but I'll save that for the horror story.
All right. I have one too.
Yeah. My Sunday was way more relaxed. I didn't cosplay because, like, we wanted to just pack everything in the car, and that was just easiest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Super chill. I think that's, like, the longest that we got to hang out, and then I lost you.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh. We went into dealer's hall, and I kept getting distracted by a couple things, and Pannon's like, I'm gonna be over here, and then I never found her again.
Sunday, it seems, is, like, just turned into my shopping day, and I always have such high ambition of, like, yeah, I'm gonna cosplay on Sunday, too. And then Sunday morning rolls around, and I'm just like, kill me. I'm going to, like, it's an effort of will just to put on a t-shirt and jeans and roll out of bed.
Being a 4-day convention, like... By the time I reached Sunday, I was like, I'm okay not dressing up again. And I think that's the most okay I've ever been with that. Like, usually whenever I, like, go in normal clothes, because I'm like, I should be comfortable today, about, like, 10 minutes in, I go, I need to cosplay. I feel naked.
I get it.
I didn't this time, which was nice, like, and it worked out great because, like, all of our stuff was in the car, and we had to hop in that and drive... 10 hours to go home, so it ended up working out.
Yep.
But judging, I've finally fixed all my thoughts for that. I'm so sorry I was scatterbrained.
No, tell me about it.
Yeah, so first of all, one thing I gotta put out there is I am so honored to have been, like, that you guys thought to be like, hey, Mercedes, come judge. Because gosh dang, the other judges are so amazing. And I'm just like, I'm sitting next to these, like, international winners, and I'm just like, hi, it's me. And it was.
Give yourself some credit.
I do. But also, like, they're really amazing. I feel like I learned a lot from Diane, just, like, watching her while judging and whatnot, and, like, our discussions, like, back and forth. It's like, oh, this is so cool. Like, a lot of things that I hadn't thought of before, or I really, really enjoyed it, and she's just a charm. I adore Diane. And so being able to do craftsmanship judging alongside her was seriously an honor. Now, for judging itself, holy crap. Again, I know I said this a little bit earlier, but, like, we had how many contestants again?
We had about 40.
About 40, yeah. And, like, wasn't, like, 20 of those masters?
Yeah, about a little over half of our competition was masters, which was insane because it's usually the beginner category. This was
the hardest thing I've ever had to judge.
Yeah, it is. I'm glad, like, for once in a competition, like, I had zero input on the winners. Like, I did not have to decide anything, and I was very glad.
Yeah, you were lucky on that part. Like, I was just sitting there at the end, and, like, you guys gave us, like, our top 10 of each category, just based on, like, the points that we'd written down, and I was just like, shoot. It was just really hard to pick. And then, like, we only had, like, that time to choose. Like, we had, like, half an hour-ish to be deciding. And I just remember just being like, okay, maybe this one. No, but this one was really amazing, too. Oh, but then there was that. And then just,
Yeah.
No, it was incredibly difficult. And with that many masters, like, everyone's bringing their A game. That's another thing about this convention. So I've judged at other places before, and maybe get one, maybe two people afterwards that'll come up and ask for feedback. So you guys had your feedback panel, on Sunday, and, I had, 3 or 4 that came up, at the end of that asked for feedback. But since then I've had, 3 more email me.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah, and ask, about, like, what they could have done better, and my general reply, especially if they were in the Masters division, was, well, there were a lot of Masters, and so just whatever I'm gonna say is gonna sound nitpicky.
It's true, like, once you get into the Master category, you have to be so, like, there are just so many tiny, fine details that can make or break in the end.
Like everyone brought their A game, and so it's just like, yeah, this was really good. Everything you made was amazing. Watch out for this small thing.
Yeah,
and it's so difficult. Like, we literally were just like looking for, like, okay, what was the cleanest, well put together, but also still like a real difficult challenge to throw yourself into, and like it was tough. But I'm really glad that, like, again, Diane was there to help make all those decisions.
Yeah, Diana's really sweet. I like her.
Yeah, I love Diana. But yeah, so that was essentially my judging experience. Was there's definitely a point where I was like, okay, I'm a little shell shocked here with how much has come in, like, and then Diana started going through each category, and then I was like, okay, now we're getting in a groove, and like started being able to actually figure that out. The performances were amazing too. I mean, you know, I just judged craftsmanship, but I really liked that I was able to see the performances, and you know, again, watching to see like how the costumes, you know, performed on stage, if anything fell apart. I really appreciate that, even though we were just craftsmanship, that you guys had seats for us, because that allowed us
craftsmanship. Okay.
Well, like, I know some conventions, when they have just craftsmanship judges, that they don't give them seats for the contest. Some places have done that, and so it's really nice because, like, before you've made your decisions on the craftsmanship categories, you can see them on stage, see them perform in their costumes, see if anything breaks, or if there's malfunctions, or like at ALA, it's not required that you wear your costume, so some people brought them in pieces, and so it was cool to see it. Okay, now there it is.
Yeah, you want to see it all put together. Yeah, for sure. And also, like, it can be a lot to, like, see how it looks and moves on stage, because some costumes are meant to be, like, moved around in, or, like, you know, you might not realize how, like, beautiful and full a skirt is until you see them twirl in it, and it looks amazing. Yes. Or, like, I've seen some, like, Pop Idol skits where, like, they made, like, interesting fabric choices that I'm like, oh, why did they do that? And then I see it on stage and their costumes just, like, light up. They're so sparkly, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, they were really thinking about, like, how this would look under stage lighting. So, like, I think stage portion, even, like, with craftsmanship, I think stage and how people consider that is still important.
Exactly, and I really, really appreciated that, because it was like, okay, oh yeah, this looks amazing on stage. And again, also being able to see everybody, like, put on their performances was really fun as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. So you had a good time?
I did. I had a great time. It was so much fun.
Good. So, while we're flying high on these good feelings,
yeah,
I feel like we should move to something not good.
Oh.
Horror stories.
Horror stories. Who wants to start?
Are you ready to bring the party down?
I'm excited for mine, but
yeah,
the party down.
I'm ready to bring it down, guys. You are too happy. Bring it down.
Bring it down.
All right,
okay.
All right, Mercedes.
Do you want me to go
Tell
first?
us this one.
Or do you want to go first?
Like yours is like really sad and upsetting and not funny at all. So
it is
like, please.
In a way,
I will try to like bring it up in the end with mine where it's
yeah.
Where
for me,
you
like,
can,
it
you guys
is,
can laugh at me
horrible.
being dumb.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It is horrible what happened. For me,
Mhm.
laughter is how I get through things, so I apologize if I like chuckle over things. Okay, so it is Saturday night. Contest is over. Got my Denny's ribbon. Going to bed around 2 a.m. And it's just super late. Like, I'm tired. I've been judging all day. Like, my brain is exhausted. My body is exhausted. Because, I've been doing now 3 days of convention. And I go to lay down, and my phone goes buzz, buzz, buzz. And I'm like, ugh. Who's texting me? And as I reach over to grab it, the fire alarm goes off.
Ooh.
And normally at conventions, not normally, actually, no, let me rephrase that. It is not uncommon that some dumb teenager at an anime convention, because teenagers,
or dumb adults, or dumb adults.
This is true.
There are plenty of those.
Some adults do this too, and I don't know why. Will pull the fire alarm because they think it's funny, or I don't know why. And so it's usually like everybody has to get out of bed because it's super late at night and go stand outside for a second in the cold and then go back in and go back to sleep, right? So anyway, so the fire alarm goes off and I'm just like, what? And it's the most annoying sound in the world, but it's supposed to be. But it's 2 a.m. and I'm like irritable. Anyways, and what's funny about the phone is that I pick it up and it's from my husband going, poke, 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 poke. Are you awake? And I replied, I am now. And then I replied, but not because of you. And so I told him, I was like, the fire alarm's going. Well, I didn't text him this yet because, like, as I'm like getting up and whatnot, we hear somebody in the hallway go, "Don't go that way. There's a fire."
Oh.
And we're like, "Oh, there's a real fire." And so I'm like, "Where's my hoodie? I have to go outside now." Sadie's like throwing a blanket over me, and I'm like, "I don't want a blanket." Anyway, so we get outside and we start walking away, and we look over at the hotel, and there's just a ton of smoke. What looks like on
That's like legit terrifying, though.
It is so terrifying. I was just like, there goes my stuff. But like the smoke looked like it was on the building. And at this point, like I hadn't heard anything from anybody. Like rumors are just flying around, like about what it is, like what's on fire and all that stuff. So we go over to another hotel. And Pannon's obviously very asleep because she didn't respond to any of my messages.
I did not. I was so tired. I just like zonked right out.
She was out. But yeah, so yeah, we're hanging out in the lobby because there's a fireplace of another hotel. I was like, hey, stay nice and warm. And we find out that someone's car got set on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily, none of the buildings were damaged in the area where the car was.
And nobody was hurt, luckily.
Yeah, no people were hurt. But what eventually came out over like the next day or so, it was like, gosh, the rumors were flying on Sunday. I was just like, guys, wait till the news says something. Come on.
Yeah.
But what had happened was they had video of somebody walking up to the car, pouring gasoline on it and lighting it on fire, and the person who owned the car was able to identify it as a stalker.
Jeez.
And so the guy was arrested, but it not just damaged, but essentially burned down 8 cars total, I believe.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah, and that is freaking nuts. Like,
yeah. Like I have like literal like terrified goosebumps on my arms. Like that is horrible.
I think like something like that can happen. It's just like, ugh.
What made me really happy though was kind of seeing the community. Like I said, ALA has an awesome cosplay community. Seeing that community come together to help these people who were basically, like, some of them couldn't get home, because of they didn't have a vehicle, and some of them were out of state. People put together, like, GoFundMes and, like, PayPal things, and
Artist Alley put together a donation jar, and so this is going to go towards helping these people get home, and that was incredible.
Yeah, but just, like, a hugely supportive community that came out and continues to help these people, which I think was amazing. In light of some really horrible, tragic thing to have to go through. So, I know one of the contestants, actually, in our cosplay contest was one of the ones affected by it. So I'm really happy that people came out and helped them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
Sorry, I'm getting a little bit sniffly about this.
Aww.
But yeah.
Well, it really sucked that somebody would go out of their way to do something so horrible. It was really nice seeing the community come together and help make it a little better, at least, to counter this one person's stupid action with a lot of love and caring and all that stuff. I loved seeing that.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you want a little bit of a lighter horror story?
Sure. Yeah, there's my deep one.
Oh, no, that's rough. That's like legit horror and not just like, oh, this is awful.
People, don't be stalkers, by the way. Like, just don't do it.
Yup.
Don't light people's cars on fire.
Please.
It does not win them over at all. Why would...
No.
Anyways.
Anyway. So mine is also has to do with toward the tail end of my trip to LA. I was actually driving the whole route by myself.
I saw your posts on this.
Which is normally a 17-hour drive, which already is a long car trip.
Really?
I think the longest car trip I had made before that was from Salt Lake to Akon one year, and that was like almost 24 hours, but I had other people in the car, and so this one was rough.
I like driving, but like from Salt Lake to LA is like the longest I'll do.
Yeah. Oof, and that's like 11, 12 hours?
10 to 11
or
hours.
10?
Yeah.
10? Okay.
You can stop a lot, it can be more.
Yeah. Well, luckily, like, on the way out, I kind of got to break it up because I went and stayed with some friends in some of the more northern parts of California, so I didn't have to do it all at once. So on the way back, I, packed up my car and get ready to go. And I'm used to staying up pretty late, so I was like, I can do it all in one go. And I start driving. And it's raining decently hard in Los Angeles. And then I start going further north, and it goes up through the Appalachian, I want to say. But one of the mountain ranges starts going through and starts seeing a little bit of snow. Like, just a little. And I was like, well, I have driven through Utah for longer than I'm going to say on air, but like I have a good solid block of time and experience driving in snow, so I'm not too worried. I mean, it's dangerous, but if you are safe, then
you're good.
I'm not going to say like you're totally good, but like if you're safe, you can usually do okay.
You can prevent a lot by being safe.
Exactly. So I start driving for a while, and I see that the GPS is saying, oh, you want to take this alternate route because there's a stop ahead on the freeway. And I was like, okay, that's pretty normal. So I start taking one of the side roads that it suggested, only to realize it's like a dirt road going through the mountains. Yeah, it was terrifying with no Google like side rails at all. And the ground on these side roads is like way deeper snow because no one's plowing these side roads. So I'm like going through like 2 to 3 inches of snow on top of, like, frozen, slightly unfrozen mud. Next to, like, no guardrails on these mountain roads. And I do this for about 2 miles before it takes me to, like, a freeway entrance. And it's like, oh, you can get back on, but if you keep going down this mysterious, off-road stuff, it will be faster than staying on the freeway, because the freeway says it's going to delay you at least 2 hours.
Whoa.
And I'm like, none of these options are good. So, thinking like, okay, I'm gonna like pull over in a gas station parking lot and just kind of like, maybe like wait out the storm, because it's gonna be easier in the long run to like just wait a couple hours for the traffic to clear out a little, and then I'll just go.
Yeah.
Is what my reasoning was. So I'm like, okay, I know it's gonna be a long drive, so I'm just gonna like take a nap in my car, and then I'll keep going. And I took a nap in my car, and there was a blizzard that dumped like a solid foot of snow around and on my car. And
Slept?
while I slept,
Oh my gosh!
and
That's
I mean,
amazing.
I slept for like an hour and a half, and I couldn't really see how deep it had gotten, because the windows were kind of like a mixture of fog and snow
So
accumulation.
you're like, snow, and then you open up your door and you're like, oh,
Like,
snow.
I open it and it just like tumbles out onto my head. And so I get out of my car because I want to see how bad it is. And it's horrible everywhere. It's like a solid foot no matter where I go. And so I can't even run my windshield wipers because there's too much accumulated snow. And so I get out of the car, and I was in California. I didn't bring a coat. I have like a hoodie. I have a hoodie at best. And I don't have like ice scraper. So I'm sitting there like in my hoodie, like wrapping it over my hands so they don't get cold, and just like wiping the windows with my sleeves and trying to get all this off. And more just keeps falling down on top of it. And I'm just like, ah! So I finally get the car cleaned up enough to go, and I am trying to get it out of this parking lot, which has not been plowed. And I spent probably 20 minutes with my car just like back and forthing it to the point that I could get out of the parking lot, because I'd go backward for about a foot, and then it would get stuck. And then I'd go forward for like a foot and a half, and then it would get stuck. And just going back and forth. And there was like a whole group of truckers just watching me and laughing. And I was like, oh.
They're not even helping?
No one would help.
Bunch of jerks.
Like, I even like at one point like got out of my car and tried to like push it in neutral, and I just ended up sliding in my sneakers through the snow.
Aww.
And I accidentally like kicked, like with my knee, I kneed my back tail light, and it broke the glass.
Oh no!
So I finally got out of that snow, and it was suggesting still that I take this back mountain road. And
you're like,
so I know, I was like, okay, well, it looks like the plows have started going through them. And so I was following a plow for a while, and the road was actually paved road. So I was like, okay, I can do paved road that's been plowed. That's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm following behind this plow, and it goes like halfway, and then it turns around to do the other half. And there's me and a whole line of cars that are like, excuse me, we'd really like to get to the other end of this road, but we couldn't because it was only half plowed. So I ended up doing a full U-E. I actually ended up driving, like, back to the nearest exit that wasn't covered in snow, which was, like, 10 minutes down the mountain.
Aww.
And ended up calling, like, different friends and being like, I don't know which way to go!
Oh.
And luckily, Hina and Stacy helped me find a route, but it went, like, all the way around the mountain. And I was like, okay, I mean, I don't know when these roads are going to clear, and I need to start, like, making some serious progress, even if it's in a roundabout way. So I started going all the way around the mountain. I ended up having to stay overnight in a city called Lodi, California, and which is like so pitiful because it's only like 4 hours outside of LA. So even though I was driving for like probably 14 hours, I only managed to get 4 hours out of the city. And then the next day, I had to do, like, another 12 hours to my drive. And so that was probably the most horrible way to end the convention. But luckily, I made it in one piece. And
killing David over here.
Yeah, it was awful. I've never had that happen on a con trip.
That's like, I love, like, on top of it all, you, like, need your light.
Yeah! And it had to take a 9-hour detour. Oh, and then the detour I took. Sorry, I've been, like, going off on this story, but the detour I took, okay, was, like, it went through some of the, like, mountains and stuff, but it wasn't snowy. And then it was in this very flat part of California, and it was kind of like you would turn down one road and you'd be going, like, ruler straight for, like, 4 miles, and then it would turn right, and then you'd go ruler straight for another, like these roads were straight, and, like, super flat. But then we got to one of them, and with all the rain and snow, like, the road was basically washed out.
Oh!
And so I was, like, it felt like driving through Jurassic Park, because the roads were that bad that it was, like, there was ditches where the road would just, like, slide down 2 feet at a time, and I was so worried my car was going to bottom out. And it was only like that for one of the little 4-mile stretches, but it felt like forever. I was so worried my car was going to get stuck, and I would have to wait for hours for a tow truck. But luckily I made it.
You've survived.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to audiobooks during that ride home, and I made it through 3 audiobooks.
Good grief.
If that gives you an idea. Yay, Dresden Files. But, gee whiz. So that's my horror story. Hooray. Laugh at my pain.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just surprised you didn't twist or roll your ankle like you normally do.
You know what? I had such anxiety and, like, nightmare dreams about it happening. Like, do you know that, like, internet meme where you see this really badly 3D rendered character and he starts walking down the street and he just kind of crumples in on himself as he's walking?
Yep.
I, like, had these visions of, like, that was going to be my ankles. I would just, like, start walking down the street and my ankles would just, like, snap and crumble under me as I'm trying to run somewhere.
Really, Pannon!
But luckily I made it through the whole weekend without snapping a single ankle.
That's good.
So, yay for that. Yay for that. I'm trying to do better this year. Doing my elliptical, and it has been, I feel like it's been strengthening my ankles a little bit, so I hope.
That's good.
But yeah, that's my horror story. Sorry it went a little long.
No, it's a very cold one. Like, I'm just, like, sitting here and I'm just like, ooh. I need more layers.
Uh-huh. Oh, it was so awful.
God.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, our
if
horror
you would
stories
like to share
Fire and Ice.
Hey, a tale of fire and ice. Nice. Nice. That's awful, but also good pun. I like it.
I did one.
Okay. So if you would like to share a horror story with us, before we move on, here are a couple of horror stories from our ALA friends who came by and saw us.
Yeah.
Hi guys, this is Pannon and VFire. She's way over there.
Over here.
We're here at Anime Los Angeles this weekend collecting some horror stories and hanging out with cosplayers. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us your story.
I'm Allison, aka Flux Cosplay and Design. I'm here all the way from Minnesota. I love that you can be outside without a coat.
Yes.
My cosplay horror story is that this past year for Anime Midwest, I helped out a couple of friends for a week to finish some costume pieces. Everything had already been going wrong, but by the time that we finally got there, they'd forgotten their makeup kit.
No.
So we had to go out to Ulta, like in O'Hare, to go spend like $100+ on makeup.
Oh no.
We did it, and they won Best in Show.
That's good. A little bit of payoff.
Yeah, a little bit of payoff, but it was fighting to get there.
Oh man. Well, thanks for stopping by. And again, where can people find you online?
I'm Flux Cosplay and Design on Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Cool. Hey guys, this is Pannon and VFire.
I'm a little closer this time.
Yay! Hanging out at Anime Los Angeles 2019, picking up some cosplay horror stories. So go ahead and introduce us, or introduce yourself, and then tell us your horror story.
Yeah, so my name is Jury, and my cosplay story is, so 1 year back when Animeland Wasabi was just Anime Wasabi, I drove all the way down, like, I think with traffic, it was really bad that day or something. It ended up being like an 1.5 or 2 hour drive down to Denver. And so I get down to the con only to realize that I have left my wig down there, and I really didn't want to not participate and have fun with all the everyone else. So I turned around and I drove back up, and then I came back down.
Oh no!
So,
that's like your whole day.
Oh yeah, that was a long day.
I've been lucky. Like anytime I've forgotten one, it's usually something I can pick up in dealer hall. But there's some wigs that you're just like, no, I can't. No.
I mean, it's so crazy now that it's so easy to get wigs, because back then, like, they didn't have any wig dealers, especially not at that con.
Oh man.
So, yeah.
Cool. Thanks. And once again, where can people find you?
So nowadays I'm going by Jury. I don't have anything set up right now, but
cool. Well, it was good to talk to you. Thanks. So yeah, if you'd like to share your horror stories with us, you can send them to us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com.
Or on the website at cosplaystitchandseam.com. Woo!
Yeah!
And they can be happy stories, too.
Yes. You can definitely share some happy stories, some uplifting, fun stories you had. And then you can also check out the Facebook group, share your stories there, take part in some of the fun activities. We do multiple posts a week, so come hang out with us on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
If you like what we do, maybe give us a coffee on KOFI coffee. It's coffee number 4 Cosplay Seams if you'd like to donate. And if you'd like us to visit a con near you, again, let us know. This week's editing and audio, as always, by the wonderful David Jeffress of Dungeons and Chill, and also Comic Trades Monthly.
And music by the lovely Macy Roberts.
So, my pun for this week, being stuck in the mountains was not funny. It was hill areas.
Aww.
Oh, get it?
Man.
Get it? Get it! Yeah, that's how I felt. Bye! Bye, guys!
Bye! Give me 1 second, hang on. I'm trying to remember names, and I'm really bad at names, but I know faces and stuff. Let's see, I go here. Okay, there's that. You can edit all this out, by the way, me just thinking
no,
here.
I'm gonna leave it all in.
What
do you think I am? Some sort of,
Leave it in.
some sort of editing wizard?
What? But you are.
It's magic. I mean, it feels that way to me.